Find a comfortable seat. Draw length to your spine. Soften your shoulders down your back and become aware of your own breath. Start to draw more and more attention inwards, noticing how your body feels and the linkage of your breath. Consider an intention you'd like to set for yourself for practice, and set that intention now. Open your eyes and make your way into your downward facing dog. Just begin to get comfortable here in your down dog. You can walk out your feet, start to bring small movements to your body. And one step at a time, slowly walk up to your hands and take your first forward fold. You can bend your knees into your chest and then slowly lengthen your legs over time. This will help you to protect your back. Come all the way up to standing. Draw your hands into your heart center and begin with a sun salutation. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips for a forward fold. Inhale, allow length for your spine. And then step all the way back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press back to your downward facing dog. We'll take 5 full breaths in down dog. Find a comfortable foundation for yourself. Feel the earth underneath your hands and your feet. And then lift your right leg and open up your hips in a 3-legged dog. Stay strong in your shoulders. And notice your breath. Release your right foot, lift your left leg high, and open up your hips. And release back down. Step all the way back up to the front of your mat, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, back to standing. Exhale, hands return to heart center. Inhale, arms lift overhead. On the exhale, hinge at your hips to fold forward. Inhale, length to your spine. Step or hop back to your plank. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. We'll take a twist in the down dog. The right hand can sweep towards the left ankle. And switch sides. Left hand sweeps towards the right. Come back to center. Soften your knees. And step or float all the way to your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, back to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, sweep your arms overhead, drop down into your chair, Utkatasana. You can allow your hands to touch overhead and reverse your fingertips down between your shoulder blades. Now lift through your heart and chest and create a back bend while staying in your chair. And then begin to twist it out. Allow your hands to come to your heart center, your left elbow to cross to the outside of your right knee. Begin to press your hands together, staying here or lengthen. Drop your left hand and reach your right arm towards the sky. Twist deeper with your next exhale. Come back through center and take the twist on the other side. This time the right elbow will cross to the outside of the left knee. You can press your hands together or lengthen if you did so on the other side. Come back to center. Lift your heels away from the floor. Bend your knees into your chest and find balance on your toes. Find lightness in the fingertips, and if possible, lift the hands away from the floor, interlace your fingers behind your back, and allow the hands to flow overhead. Begin to release. And wrap your arms around the outside of your legs. Thread them through your legs. Grab hold of your shins. And take a forward fold. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. Release. Draw length to your spine. And step or hop back to your plank. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhale up dog. And all the way back your downward facing dog. 5 full breaths. Lift your right leg and step your right foot all the way through. Come into a crescent warrior. Reach your arms overhead. Find balance on the ball of your left foot. Draw length out through your left leg and find depth in your right leg. Find one point to focus on as you breathe. One more full breath. And then reach your left arm forward, your right arm back. Find your balance between your feet, reaching out through your arms. Stay strong and stable. And then slowly drop the left hand. Reach your right arm towards the sky for a twist. And you can allow the right toes to face the right side of the room, the right hand to the inside of your right knee as you gaze over your right shoulder. It becomes a back bend and a twist. Staying strong through the left leg, send energy out through your left heel. Come back to center. Allow your hands to drop. And then rest your elbows on the ground as you rock to the outside edge of your right foot. Rounding your shoulders and tucking your tail under. Engaging your core. Breathe. Lift up onto your hands. Leave the right hand down to the floor as you spin your feet down to the floor. The left arm lifts towards the sky. Keep a bend in your right knee. And if you'd like to bind, the left arm can come around your back. The right arm can come underneath. Staying fully engaged and aware, mindful. As you release, work your right shoulder underneath your right knee. Rotate onto the ball of your left foot. And lift your right heel away from the floor. If you'd like to go further, lift the entire right leg away from the floor. Hovering here, using your core to engage and help you lift. And then step back into a side plank, Vashisthasana. The right hand can lift, the feet can stack, stay in one single plane, and allow energy to flow equally through your shoulders. Come back to center and step the right foot all the way through so you can lift up into a warrior two. The arms are level with each other. The shoulders can stack over top of your hips. The right knee is tracking forward. A soft gaze and a flowing breath. Reverse your warrior. Flip your right hand and the left hand can come back. Feel your rib cage is lifting towards the sky as you find a side bend. Begin to come out. Plant your hands. Step back to your plank and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale your up dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. On the left side, lift your left leg, step all the way through to your crescent, reach the arms overhead, find balance here. The same depth, the same length you found on the other side, length out through your right leg this time, and depth in your left leg. Engage, draw the belly in and up for Uddiyana Bandha. One more full breath. And then reach your right arm forward, the left arm back, finding your twist. Staying balanced here in your twist. Slowly drop the right hand down to the floor. The left toes can spin towards the left as you place your left hand to the inside of your left knee and begin to gaze over your left shoulder. Keep the right knee lifted, drawing energy out through your right heel. As you come back to center, rock to the outside edge of your left foot. Place your hands or your elbows down to the floor. And again, stay strong in your shoulders. Shoulders stack over top of the elbows. The core is engaged. Isolate the muscles in your core. To come out, the left hand stays down. Keep the bend in your left knee as you lift your right arm towards the sky and spin the right toes down to the floor. Stay here or wrap it up in a bind. The right arm can come around the back, the left arm can come underneath, and a long line of energy through the entire right side of your body. As we release down, we'll keep the left shoulder underneath the left knee and try to lift the left heel away from the floor. Maybe the entire left foot. Holding. Stay strong. We're shifting into our side plank. On the right hand, you can lift your left arm towards the sky as you step your left foot back, stacking it over top of your right. Holding here, hips lift, in line with the shoulders. And transition into your warrior two. Step the left foot all the way through and windmill up to your warrior two. Find equal energy flowing through your shoulders. A soft gaze again. And follow your breath. Reverse your warrior. Flip your left hand. The right hand can come back. Keep the bend in your left knee. Feel the left side rib cages lift. Flow all the way back down. Step back to your plank and exhale chaturanga. Flow through your vinyasa to your downward facing dog. And we'll find our down dog for 5 full breaths. Focus on your inhales. Lengthen in your inhales. And lengthen your exhales. Feel your heartbeat slowing with each breath. Staying calm and breathing evenly. Step your right foot forward. Lift up into a warrior one. And then interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Lift through your heart and chest, spreading energy throughout your entire spine. Keep your fingers interlaced, but allow your head to begin to flow down to the inside of your right knee or ankle as the arms float overhead. Even if you can touch your head down to the floor, stay hovering and use your core to engage. Allow the hands to release. Allow the right toes to come in and the left toes to spin to the sky. And you'll be in a half split, half mayurasana. And you can place your right hand to the inside of your right knee and gaze over your shoulder. A deep twist. As we come out of the twist, drop your right elbow low, spin it around all the way to the front of the mat, so the right knee rests above the right elbow, and the right foot to the middle of the mat, and try to shift your weight forward and see if the left foot will lift away from the floor in a one-legged crow. Hold here and press energy out through your right knee to lift even higher. Step the left foot back, lift your right leg high, a three-legged dog. You can open it up and stay in your three-legged dog, or flip your dog. Maybe even coming into a full wheel. Be mindful of your back and make sure your back is open enough for your full wheel if that's where you choose to go. As we come back around, step back into your plank, chaturanga with the right leg high, upward facing dog, all the way back, downward facing dog. Left side, lift the leg, step your foot all the way through to your warrior one, allow the right heel to spin down and the arms to lift overhead. Take a moment to settle into your warrior one. Once you're feeling grounded, interlace the fingers behind the lower back. And then lift through your heart and chest as you take a back bend, migrating the energy through your spine so it's not all in your lower back. You can even shift your gaze towards the sky if you'd like. With your next exhale and the fingers still interlaced, drop the head down to the inside of the left knee or ankle as the arms reach overhead. You can release your hands to the floor. Spin your right toes towards the sky as you bend your left knee and allow the left toes to come in slightly. Place your right hand on your right ankle, left hand on the left knee, and spin over your left shoulder. As we begin to come out and prepare for the one-legged crow, we'll keep the left elbow low. Spin all the way around to the front of the mat and hook the left knee above the left elbow, up towards your armpit. Allow the left foot to come to the midline of your mat. And then begin to shift your weight forward. You can even walk your back foot in or slide it in as you lift your right leg towards the sky. Press energy through your bottom shin, and that'll help you lift even higher. Step the right foot back, left leg into your three-legged dog where you open it up, or flip your dog if you did so before. Again, you can even come into your full wheel if your back is feeling open enough. Now, as we come back around, you can keep your left leg high and take your chaturanga, upward facing dog, all the way to your downward facing dog. Reestablish your down dog and notice how your body's changed since the beginning of practice. Just become aware, become an observer of your own body. Observing your breath. And then soften your knees, gaze forward in either step or float your feet to the outside of your hands. Drop your right hand to the floor, lift your left arm towards the sky for a twist, or work your right shoulder underneath your right knee, the left arm around your back, creating a bind. Lengthen your legs and twist. Now you can stay here in the twist or come into your bird of paradise by sliding your right foot in to meet your left, stabilizing your left foot and use your inhale to come all the way up to standing. You can even lengthen your right leg from there. On your way out, slowly drop the right foot back down. Keep the right shoulder underneath the right knee. The left hand drops. Place your left knee above your left elbow. And try to lift your right foot away from the floor. It's a half tittibasana, half crow. The left heel in towards your bum. You can shift around into your crow so you can switch sides if you'd like. And we'll come back to center, plant the feet, lengthen the legs again, and take your twist to the other side, either dropping the left hand and reaching the right arm, or work your left shoulder underneath your left knee. Wrap the right arm around your back, make a clasp with your hands, and begin to lengthen your legs as you twist. There's options here. You can stay where you are, Or shift your weight to your right foot and slowly begin to peel the left foot away from the floor to come all the way up to standing. Find your balance in your bird of paradise. You can lengthen your left leg and extend all the way as you press energy through the ball of your left foot. Now coming out, we're going to leave the left elbow underneath the left knee. Place the right hand in front of the right foot so that we can rest the right knee above the right elbow. And start to lift up to the toes. Try to lift the left foot away from the floor and draw the right heel in towards your bum for balance. Stay here and experiment with the pose. Or come into your crow and shift to the other side. Lengthen the right leg and the left heel comes in. Come back to center. And again, lengthen your legs. And then softening. Come all the way down into Malasana. The feet are spread, mat's distance apart. The toes can come out towards the side as the hands come into heart center. And then you can tuck your head down towards the floor and wrap your hands around your ankles, rounding your spine. Lift up to your fingers, plant your hands, and shift your weight forward, either coming up to your toes or shifting more weight forward to lift the feet away from the floor in your crow posture. If you'd like to try tittibasana, the full firefly pose, you can place your shoulders underneath your knees, slide the hands underneath your heels, and then start to rock back. Lift one foot at first, and maybe both feet, finding your balance in tittibasana. You can come around into your crow, drop your head down to the floor, and if you'd like, press to a headstand. Taking whatever variations are most appropriate for you. If you're in your headstand, you can slowly, very slowly, start to draw the feet back down towards the floor. Coming into a crow if you'd like. And from your crow, you can step or hop back. Take your vinyasa all the way through to your downward facing dog. And then drop your knees to the floor, sit back to your heels, and come into a child's pose. Notice right now if your heartbeat is quickened. If it has, try to lengthen your breath and slow it back down. Find equilibrium in your body with your breath and in your mind with your breath. Slowly start to rise and come into a tabletop position and then sit all the way back to your heels, your hero's pose. You can have the heels separate just slightly wider than the hips. All toes facing backwards, keeping the knees together. Stay here and breathe. For a twist, you can allow your left hand to reach for the outside of your right knee and gaze over your right shoulder. And twist to the other side. The right hand can sweep to the outside of the left knee as you twist over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Allow your hands to plant. Walk back into your tabletop and reverse your fingertips towards your knees as you plant your palms on the floor. Curl your toes under and sit back towards your heels. And keep a soft bend in your elbows. As you start to lengthen, you'll feel a stretch in your wrists. And then reverse your palms to the back of your hands, just to stretch it back out. With the wrists now open, you can reverse your fingertips again towards your knees. Begin to round your upper back. Try to draw your hips towards your elbows as your elbows draw in towards each other, resting on your hips. Don't lose the rounding in your upper back. Once you make contact with your hips, begin to slide your weight forward and try to lift your legs away from the floor. The head has to slide forward enough to find your pivot point so that the legs can lift. When you've found it, you can come back, reverse the hands, lift your right arm up and slide your right arm through towards the left for a twist. The left arm can sweep around your back. Come back through center and twist to the other side. The left arm can sweep through towards the right. And if you'd like, reach the right arm around the back. You can even grab a hold of your inner thigh as you twist. Use your exhales here to twist deeper. Release, come back to center. Keeping your hips where they are, you can drop your head or your chest down towards the floor. In Anahatasana, your inchworm or your heart chakra drops to the floor. If it's not comfortable with your chest on the floor, just rest your head on the floor. Rise out of it. Come into a high push-up and lower all the way down. Come up onto your elbows, your Sphinx posture. The shoulders stack over top of the elbows. The belly draws in and up. You may even feel it lift away from the floor. And for a variation, you can allow your left foot to come in and reach hold with your left hand for a quad stretch. You can switch sides. You can drop your left elbow and reach around with your right hand to grab hold of your right foot and take a quad stretch. And then coming back to center, you can release all the way back down to the floor. Allow the hands to come beside your thighs with your palms facing up, and rest your head to one side. This time, place your hands by your chest and slowly peel your chest away from the floor, a little at first, or maybe lengthen your arms all the way. You can even tense your fingers here. Draw your shoulders down and back, actively engaging. You're feeling energy rise up your front body and flow down your back. And then sweep your right arm through towards the left. The left knee comes up into your chest and you can roll onto your back for a spinal twist. Come back to center. And one more time, your Sphinx, your low cobra, or lift all the way up, lengthening your arms to deepen. You can even walk your hands backwards. If you'd like, separate your feet mat's distance and lift your toes towards your head and your head towards your toes. To twist out the spine, the left arm is going to sweep through towards the right. You can roll over onto your back as the right knee draws up into your chest for a spinal twist. Releasing your twist, come back to center. Plant your hands again, press up to your upward facing dog, and all the way back, downward facing dog. And settle into your down dog, and then soften and step or float through to a seat. And roll all the way down to your back, one vertebrae at a time. From here, you can slide your heels in towards your bum. And either come into a bridge, or if you'd like to come into your wheel, place your hands beside your shoulders with the fingertips facing the shoulders. And press all the way up into your wheel. Again, keep the energy out of your lower back. Allow it to spread throughout the entire spine. Lower all the way back down. You can allow the feet to separate a little wider than your hips and the knees to press together. You can come back into your bridge or into your wheel once more. And then come all the way back down. For your third and final variation, your bridge or your wheel, and any variation you choose, if you'd like, come into your wheel, and I'll offer another variation. You can drop your head to the floor. Lift the heels and drop your elbows all the way down, and then begin to walk the legs out behind you. This is a deep back opening. Again, be mindful of your lower back and stay out of your lower back. This back bend requires open shoulders. You can press back up and then release all the way back down. Once you're back down onto the floor, hug your knees into your chest. You can even cross your ankles here and grab hold of your feet. You can switch your ankles and hug them back in. Feel a release in your back. And then rock and roll slowly all the way up, finding a seat. Allow your left heel to come towards your right bum. Your right ankle to cross over your left knee as you take a twist over your right shoulder. Stay here in your twist, or sweep the left hand underneath your right heel and reach your right arm overhead to create a bind. It's a deeper variation. Come back to center and come into Gomukhasana, your cow face pose. Stack your right knee over top of your left. Allow the toes to curl in, and if you'd like, fold forward. Breathe into your outer hips. Begin to come up. Plant your hands. Lift up and try to switch your legs in the air. Again, take the twist. This time the left ankle's over top of the right knee as you gaze over your left shoulder. Stay here with this twist, or sweep your right hand underneath your heel. You can even bind here with the left arm coming overhead. As you come back around, we'll stack the left knee over top of the right. Curl the toes in. Hinge at your hips if you're folding forward. And slowly begin to lift out of the posture. Lean back and come into your boat pose. And then cross your ankles, draw your knees in, plant your hands, and either hop or step back to your plank, flow through your vinyasa to your downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, we'll come into our pigeon posture. To do so, you can step your right foot all the way through towards your left ankle. The left leg can walk out behind you. If you need a block, place a block underneath your right hip. And if you'd like to fold forward, you can fold forward from here. Begin to come up. Step back, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Left leg lift. Step your left foot all the way through for your pigeon posture. The right leg can reach out behind. You can walk your hands forward and fold, dropping down to your elbows or all the way down. Full, mindfully aware breaths. Begin to lift up. Again, step back, chaturanga, upward dog, to your down dog. Begin to soften your knees, gaze through your arms, and step or float through to a seat. Lengthen both legs. And then draw your left leg underneath your right for your double pigeon, Agni Stambhasana, your fire on the logs pose. Stacking your shins, energizing through the balls of your feet, and hinging forward if you'd like to fold. This is a deep outer hip opener. Take your time, be patient with your body as you fold. You can begin to lift up and switch sides. The left leg this time stacks over top of the right. Again, a slow walk forward. And you can fold. Once more, begin to rise out of the posture. Allow the feet to plant. The hands can come behind you with the fingertips facing forward, a reverse tabletop. Lift your hips towards the sky. Level your belly with the sky. And release back down. And allow the soles of your feet to come together for bakasana. The knees can drop to the sides. You can place your hands on your knees. And if you'd like, take a twist. Lengthen your left arm and gaze over your right shoulder. Come back through center and twist the other side. All the way back to center. And if you'd like to fold this time, you can begin to fold forward, releasing your head down towards the floor. 3 more breaths. Full inhales, full exhales. Start to lift up. Allow your legs to spread out towards the sides. And gaze over your left leg. And side bend, either dropping your right elbow to the floor and resting your head in your hand, or dropping your shoulder all the way down towards your right thigh. Try to keep your left hip down if you're side bending in the deeper variation. Feel the deep stretch throughout your entire left side body. Come through center. Drop your left hand, lift your hips towards the sky, lift your right arm towards the sky. And come back down through center for a fold through center. You can grab hold of your feet if you'd like as you fold. Keep the toes pointing towards the sky. Begin to lift up. And shift your gaze over your right shoulder, looking over your right leg. Lift your right arm and take your side bend over your left leg, either dropping onto your elbow or reaching all the way for your toes. Full stretch through the entire right side body. Sweep all the way around. Drop your right hand to the floor behind your right thigh. Lift your hips, lift your left arm. Come back through center. And another forward fold through center. Maybe this time a little deeper. Again, the toes face the sky. You can drop down to your hands, your elbows, or maybe your chest down towards the floor. Breathe deeply into your inner hips. Start to rise back up. Allow both legs to meet. And slowly roll down to your back. Grab hold behind your calves or your ankles. Taking Supta Paschimottanasana. Allowing your legs to level with the sky. And you'll be on the middle of your back. Slowly release. And come into Supta Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet can meet, the knees can drop off towards the sides. Release any tension you may be holding on to here. Letting it all go. And finish with a spinal twist. Wrap your right leg over top of your left for your eagle legs. And the knees can drop left as you gaze right. You can come back to center, unravel. Wrap your left leg over top of your right. Allow your knees to fall towards the right as you gaze towards the left. A release of your spine with each breath. Feeling your body calming and cooling. Your mind quiets. And the space between the thoughts gets a little bit longer. You can come back to center and find a comfortable position on your back in your corpse posture. The feet are separated a little wider than your thighs so that they're not touching. The hands out to the side with the fingertips facing up. Relax. Begin to slow your breath right now. Letting go of any tension you may be holding on to, whether that be in your body or your mind. Deepening breaths, mindful breaths. Feeling freer with each breath. And to help quiet the mind, you can imagine a perfectly blue sky. Visualize the deep blue sky and allow your thoughts to be like clouds passing through the sky with no attachment to them whatsoever, returning again and again to the blue sky. Once you've found that blue sky, you can stay there for as long as you're comfortable.